What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Tuesday, March 4th, 2025, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now it is 2300 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Eastern Europe and from all over the world. So what you're looking at here is the flight path of a U.S. B-52 nuclear bomber that is currently airborne over Arkansas and Oklahoma. And right now, Trump is giving his address to Congress, his first address to Congress in his second term. And his address is wrapping up, should be over in just a couple of minutes here, but you can see this B-52 up in the air just for security reasons, probably to maintain a high level of readiness in case one of our enemies were to strike while all of our leaders of the government are in one place. And we have some major breaking news coming in from Russia. So according to Ukrainian intelligence, the possibility of a massive Russian missile and drone attack is very high over the next 48 hours. Currently 8 MiG-31K fighter bombers, 32 KRPB carriers, including 15 Tu-95 strategic bombers, 1 Tu-160, and 16 Tu-22 backfire bombers. 5 ships and 3 submarines are getting prepared to launch missiles on Ukraine. So 15 Tu-95s, 16 Tu-22s, and 1 Tu-160. That is over 30 Russian bombers getting ready to strike Ukraine. Okay, also 8 MiG-31 fighter bombers, which carry the hypersonic missiles, and 5 missile ships and 3 missile subs. Okay, so if they actually launch this attack, we're talking about hundreds of missiles launched at Ukraine. And we know that Trump paused all military aid to Ukraine yesterday as a response to the situation on Friday with Zelensky refusing to sign the minerals agreement. And Trump has imposed tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China, 25% tariffs on Canada and 20% tariffs on China, 25% tariffs on Mexico. And during the State of the Union speech tonight, or the address to Congress, Trump said, "I have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe, we will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you never thought possible before." Wow. Okay, so Trump saying that they're going to get Greenland one way or the other. That is absolutely insane. And here we have a post that Trump made on his social media platform, Truth Social, saying that whatever retaliatory tariffs that Canada places on the U.S., there will be a reciprocal tariff followed immediately with an increase by the same amount. Okay, so China threatened to impose a 15% tariff. Well, they didn't threaten. They will be imposing a 15% retaliatory tariff on imports of chicken, wheat, corn, and cotton from the U.S., and we had a statement here by the Canadian Conservative Party leader.
At 12:01 a.m., President Trump stabbed America's best friend in the back. My message to the President is this: Canada will fight back. We will defend our people and our economy, and we will put Canada first. There is no doubt that our economy will suffer, but so will yours, President Trump. In fact, you're already paying the price, with trillions of dollars erased in stock market value over the last month of these threats. Already, Americans are paying higher gas prices as at midnight, a new American gas tax kicked in on U.S. working-class taxpayers and motorists. Your workers will soon start losing jobs they had upgrading Canadian raw materials, which, by the way, you were getting at an incredible and ridiculous bargain, and your businesses will be selling fewer products to your closest neighbor. And that's only the beginning. While Canadians are slow to anger and quick to forgive, once provoked, we fight back. And we will fight back.
Wow, strong words there. Listen to what he said in the beginning here. This is the Conservative Party leader in Canada, okay? So he does not like Trudeau, but even on this issue, he's standing against Trump with Trudeau.
At 12:01 a.m., President Trump stabbed America's best friend in the back.
Wow, strong words there. And Trudeau said that Canada won't back down to the U.S., and in 21 days' time, Canada will impose new 25% tariffs on a further $125 billion of U.S. imports. Okay, we're also hearing that Trump is going to be imposing tariffs on India, South Korea, and Europe on April the 2nd. Okay, so the tariff war has begun, the trade war has begun with Canada, with China, with Mexico, India, South Korea, Europe. This is getting absolutely insane. But Canada has imposed 25% retaliatory tariffs, and they have not ruled out other measures. And we're hearing that all the gains made on the S&P 500 since the election have been wiped out in the wake of the tariffs imposed on Canada, Mexico, and China. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP Shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. And this is really concerning. Ontario, Canada will impose a 25% tariff on the provision of electricity to the United States. And if more tariffs are imposed in April, they will completely cut off electricity exports. Wow. Okay, so we could potentially see rolling blackouts in parts of the country, especially the Northeast and the northern tier of the U.S. They're interconnected with Canada, okay? And speaking Monday at a mining convention in downtown Toronto, the Ontario Premier Doug Ford doubled down on threats to cut electricity exports to U.S. border states if the tariffs go through. He said if they want to try to annihilate Ontario, I will do everything, including cutting off their energy, with a smile on my face, Ford told reporters. The United States is a major customer of Canadian electricity, with all American power grids, with the exception of Texas, interconnected with Canadian provinces. New York, Michigan, and Minnesota are Ontario's three biggest customers of domestically produced power. Wow, so if you live in New York, Michigan, and Minnesota, get ready for blackouts, okay, in the coming weeks, because they're going to cut the electricity. They can also cut the oil supplies, which is going to cause our fuel prices to skyrocket. Okay, so this is escalating really, really quickly, and I want you guys to think back to 2003. You may remember the Northeast blackout, which was in August of 2003, when something happened with some kind of power line in Quebec, and it caused all the power in the Northeast to go out, okay? So that could happen again, and it could happen on a rolling basis, or it could be short-term, long-term blackouts. We don't know, or at the very least, prices are going to go up. Okay, your electric prices will go up. And a Chinese government spokesperson said if the United States persists in waging a tariff war, a trade war, or any other kind of war, the Chinese side will fight them to the bitter end. And Europe is getting ready to mobilize for war with Russia. They're going to be approving an 800 billion euro emergency defense spending package. Okay, and this is going to be approved on March 6th. Okay, they need a 55% vote for this to pass, okay, which it most certainly will. 800 billion euros for emergency defense funding, okay? Emergency defense funding. Absolutely insane. So they're getting ready for war with Russia. They're getting ready to arm Ukraine to the teeth now that the U.S. has backed out and they're not supporting Ukraine anymore, and they're not really helping the Europeans as much anymore. And speaking of the Europeans, here we have video footage of a Russian Sukhoi 35 fighter jet buzzing a French Air Force recon drone in the eastern Mediterranean somewhere. Okay, so this is the French recon drone's camera, and it's zooming in on this Sukhoi 35 operated by Russia, and look how close it came. Apparently it was buzzing around this drone and could have potentially caused it to crash. Okay, and this was in the eastern Mediterranean. And Putin will help Trump negotiate an Iran nuclear deal. Apparently Trump personally asked Putin to mediate nuclear talks with Iran, and Putin agreed. This was reported by Bloomberg. Trump made the request during a phone call, and U.S.-Russia delegations continued the discussions in Saudi Arabia. Russian President Vladimir Putin has agreed to assist President Donald Trump in facilitating nuclear negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. This development comes amid reports of heightened defense cooperation between Russia and Iran, including the visit of Russian missile experts and nuclear scientists to Iran. The mediation offer has been confirmed by spokespeople from the Kremlin and reported across various news outlets. Wow. Okay, so Trump going behind Israel's back and making a secret deal with Putin and Iran to negotiate a nuclear deal. Okay, that is very, very concerning, guys. And in latest polls out of Israel, 68% of Israelis back a preemptive strike on Iran with U.S. support. Okay, so most people in Israel want a strike on Iran. They don't want another deal, okay? Because a deal is just going to postpone the inevitable. Iran is going to work around the deal, and they're going to figure out ways to develop the nukes in secret. They don't want that. They want to destroy those nuclear facilities, get rid of them, okay? But it's funny how Trump said one thing during the campaign, and now he's doing something completely different. I remember during the campaign, Trump said that Biden and Israel should have taken out the nuclear sites. You can go back and see all the footage of him saying that multiple times, that they should have went for the nuclear sites. And now he's recruiting Putin to make a nuclear deal. So I don't know what's going on. We'll have to wait and see if Trump is just trying to play games with the Iranians, and he's going to actually strike them, or who knows. And Zelensky just ordered Ukrainian officials to contact their U.S. counterparts and get official answers on the suspension of military aid. Zelensky also reached out to his European partners for clarity on what exactly Trump plans to cut back, so there's no guessing, and said he is thankful to the U.S. and wants good relations. He also said Ukraine now is not the same as in 2022 and that they are strong. And Zelensky proposed his thoughts about how to end the war. He said the first stages would be the release of prisoners of war and a peace in the sky, a ban on missiles, long-range drones, and bombing on energy targets and other civilian infrastructure, and also a truce in the sea immediately, and only if Russia will do the same. Okay, so he's proposing basically a ceasefire in the sky, no missiles, no drones, and then also in the sea. Okay, we'll see if that happens. I don't think it's going to happen. And there is no progress on the minerals agreement, according to the senior White House correspondent Jackie Henrich. She said that Reuters information earlier was false, that they were going to sign the minerals agreement today. And the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk confirmed that all U.S. arms deliveries to Ukraine through Poland have been stopped. And the U.S. Department of State officially designated the Houthis as a foreign terror organization. And this was done by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And the USS Harry Truman has moved into the Red Sea in the last couple of days, coinciding with the announcement by Rubio that the Houthis are now a foreign terror group. Okay, so maybe they're going to strike the Houthis. And the U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff announced the first two unmanned fighter jets in the Air Force, which are the YFQ-42A and the YFQ-44A. Okay, so unmanned fighter jets now in the U.S. military. That is absolutely insane. And they've been testing these unmanned F-16s the last couple of years. And they've actually done dogfighting tests between seasoned pilots and the AI-controlled F-16s, and in all cases, the AI-controlled F-16s beat the seasoned pilots. Guys, this is like coming straight out of a Hollywood movie. Okay, this is like Terminator, where they put AI in control of the U.S. military, including strategic forces, and that's when all things go south, okay? And the machines try to take over. And the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says we should all be supporting Zelensky and not fawning over Putin. And new data from Kalshi shows the probability of a recession occurring this year. And new data from Kalshi shows the probability of a recession during 2025 has risen to 39%, up 13% from earlier estimates. And the French far-right party leader, Marine Le Pen, some of you guys may know who she is, condemned the suspension of American military aid to Ukraine. This is very interesting. She's very pro-Russia and pro-Putin. And she said this is very cruel to the Ukrainian soldiers who patriotically defend their country. Le Pen noted that the bluntness of this decision is subject to condemnation. She added that no one can force Washington to support Ukraine if it does not wish to, but not giving a reasonable period to adjust is very questionable. Okay, so Marine Le Pen condemning Trump's decision to suspend military aid abruptly. And the Israeli army announced today that they killed the commander of the naval unit of Hezbollah's elite Radwan force. And the Palestinian president Mahmoud Abbas thanked Trump for his efforts to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. And the Egyptian president al-Sisi said that he was certain that President Trump would be able to achieve peace between Israel and the Palestinians. Speaking during the Arab League summit, he said Egypt would be hosting a conference for Gaza reconstruction next month. Wow. Okay, so Trump trying to be the peacemaker in the Middle East, the peacemaker in Ukraine. And Polish scientists have uncovered significant GPS disruptions in the Baltic Sea, likely caused by vessels operating in international waters. So they're hinting at potentially Russian vessels in the Baltic Sea with GPS jammers. And Taiwan's defense minister commented on relations with the U.S. He said, "We cannot rely on the goodwill of others to maintain peace in a rapidly changing international landscape." Wow. And Elbridge Colby, currently being considered for the position of Undersecretary of Defense for Policy, implied today that protecting Taiwan is not an existential matter for the U.S., And the EU suspended the development of a new 20 billion euro military aid package for Ukraine because Hungary vetoed it. And prior to attending the president's speech tonight, Elon Musk met with House Republicans to provide some clarity on what Doge is up to. And Poland is looking to buy 32 more fighter jets, possibly looking at F-35s or F-15EXs. They have already purchased 35 F-35s from the U.S. a couple of years ago. They're also looking at expanding their aerial refueling fleet for their fighter jets, possibly purchasing up to 4 KC-46 Pegasus planes and 8 to 10 Airbus MRTT planes. So Poland is looking to basically double the number of modern fighter jets that they have in their inventory. Okay, they have F-16s, they have several dozen of them. They have also some, I believe, Japanese or South Korean fighter jets. They also have some old Russian fighter jets from the USSR days, but now they want to basically expand the number of F-35s they have, basically doubling what they already have. So that is a huge sign that something is brewing in Eastern Europe. And here we have the leader of the EU, Ursula von der Leyen, talking about this 800 billion euro emergency funding package, okay, emergency defense funding package. Listen to what she has to say.
Europe is ready to assume its responsibilities. Rearm Europe could mobilize close to 800 billion euros of defense expenditures for a safe and resilient Europe. We will, of course, continue working closely with our partners in NATO. This is a moment for Europe, and we are ready to step up.
So 800 billion euros. And then here we have the prediction by Kalshi for a recession in 2025. You can see it jumped up after the tariffs were announced. Okay, they had it down at like 20 to 25% basically for the last few weeks. And then since the tariffs started, they jumped it up to like a 40% chance of a recession. And in Serbia, there was total chaos in the Serbian parliament. There were some opposition leaders throwing smoke grenades in the parliament and fighting with the ruling party. And we also had a lot of protests the last couple of days in Serbia. So it looks like in Serbia, there could potentially be another color revolution. And just 2 days ago, a B-52 took off from the UK and did a bunch of loops in Bulgaria right next to Serbia. Okay, so something is brewing in Serbia. Also, the last 2 to 3 weeks, we've seen RQ-4 Global Hawk reconnaissance drones patrolling the border of Bulgaria and Serbia. Okay, so something's brewing over here. I think that Serbia is on the verge of some kind of a massive revolution. Okay, and all of these people throwing the smoke grenades are the opposition. Okay, they want Serbia to be more aligned with the West and move away from Russia and Putin. Okay, so these are some very interesting times we're living in, some very dangerous times. Please continue to prepare. We're literally on the verge of possibly a major war in Europe between Russia and the European countries. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Okay, look at this. This is absolutely insane. I don't know what they're holding up here, this banner, but totally crazy situation in Serbia. Look at that. Absolutely insane. And last night we had a lot of reconnaissance in Eastern Europe and in Scandinavia. We had a U.S. reconnaissance plane fly up to the Kola Peninsula in Russia, which is where Russia keeps 2/3 of their nuclear-armed submarines in the city of Murmansk. That's where they have their Northern Fleet base. And then also we had a British reconnaissance plane patrolling the borders of the Baltics and Russia. And then also we had 2 Russian doomsday planes fly to Siberia and then fly back. And then also we had a U.S. sub-hunter plane in the Black Sea doing multiple east to west passes in the Black Sea. And the reason why the P-8 would be in the Black Sea is to keep an eye on Russian naval activity in the Black Sea to see what their force posture is like, if they're getting ready to launch some kind of a massive strike on Ukraine since Trump paused the weapons deliveries. We haven't seen a P-8 in the Black Sea probably in 2 years, okay? In the beginning of the war and before the war started, they would fly into the Black Sea all the time, and then they stopped doing that because of the chance of some kind of a mishap or, an escalation, But it's very interesting that we had this recon plane in the Baltics, and then we had this one from the U.S. go up to the Russian Northern Fleet base where they have 2/3 of their nuclear-armed subs. So the U.S. is concerned about Russia's nuclear posture. That's why they sent that plane up there to count how many subs are in port to see how ready Russia is, what their level of readiness is, okay? And then also we had this AWACS plane in the North Sea keeping an eye on the cables and pipelines here in the North Sea. And then last night we had a B-52 nuclear bomber take off from the UK, and it went down into the Eastern Mediterranean and reportedly conducted some kind of a joint exercise with the Israeli Air Force right off the coast of Lebanon. So very, very serious, guys. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post these updates. Also consider downloading my app for free in the Google Play Store so I can notify you directly on your phone when I post these updates. And also when things are breaking, I can send you updates directly to your phone free of charge. If there's any breaking news, anything crazy going on, another culinary night, okay, whatever, if Russia's invading the Baltics or North Korea's attacking South Korea, I can send you updates and let you know. Okay, also follow me on Telegram and Twitter, and all the links are in the description below this video. The link to my app, the link to my Telegram, Twitter, and also my Rumble. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.